What's up everyone, we are back with an amazing farming video. It's very simple. You don't have to juice, you don't have to use scarabs, although and we'll give variation where you can use scarabs because Delirium has some great scarabs that you can use this league, but let's just jump into it. Now, this is the Atlas tree that I am currently using, and this is the one where you don't use scarabs. The reason for that is because we take Unwavering Vision, which is going to give us the 20 extra passive points. Now, why do we do that? Well, because of the removal of Wandering Path, and there are no duplication map nodes on the tree, at least none that I'm aware of. Looks like they've all been replaced by increased scarabs. It is very hard to map sustain in this league, and I really hope they change that. Maybe make these connected map nodes up to 3%, so we can get closer to 100%. Probably just a little bit under 100% if they buff these a little bit. That's one of the changes of the league that I do not like. Map sustain is very annoying. So if you are not buying maps, you have to get some of these nodes. Do not drive yourself insane. Now, I will be going over the Scarab variant of the Atlas tree, but you are more than likely going to have to buy maps. You can do this by going to the TFT, which is the Forbidden Trove, on Discord, going to the bulk maps want to buy tab, and putting in there, you know, I want strand maps or field maps, which are the maps we're going to be using, that I'll go over in a second. But for this variation, we get the extra points for Wandering Visions, or Unwavering Vision, so we can take some more connected nodes. This obviously means we're going to want to ping pong between two maps, and like I said, we're going fields and strand, mostly strand if we can. So if you're buying maps, you are going to want to buy strand maps. If you can't get strand maps, buy fields. Get some connected map nodes to try to save up some strand maps. So I favor a couple of fields and a couple of strand, so you ping pong between strand and fields with the chance to drop connected map nodes, so that they hopefully drop each other as you are ping-ponging back and forth between them. But anyways, back to the Atlas. It's pretty self-explanatory. We just go around and take all of the harvest nodes. We avoid this because we do not have the points. We do not take crop rotation. It can be good. There's one scarab that makes it insanely cool. I don't know how much that scarab is, but for this strategy, we're going to ignore that. Crop rotation is a different animal. Not too complicated, but does take a little bit longer, and you do have to think more. So we are going to avoid crop rotation for now, but we're going to take all of the other great nodes that Harvest has. Now we are also going in and taking the quantity nodes because the life force dropped in the Harvest scales off of the quantity, so make sure you grab these ones in the middle and the ones outside. If you do not have enough points to do this strategy yet, but you're getting close, you could take out some of these quantity nodes. It's not ideal, but it is, you know, it's not a huge deal if you have to take points out of that. So you can save a couple points there. Take the Delirium where there's a greater chance to drop Delirium orbs. That is very important. We want Delirium orbs, and because of that, we do not take Unending Nightmare. So we will have a Delirium timer, but as long as you're moving relatively quickly with the two maps I'm suggesting, this will never be a problem anyways, so you do not put a point into Unending Nightmare. We go up here, generate 3 additional rewards. That's always nice. Go up here, get a chance to have layers of Delirium, as well as we take the chance to get a Delirium Mirror to guarantee the Delirium Mirror in our maps. On the flip side, we take the same thing with Harvest, the chance to get a Harvest, so we are guaranteed a Harvest every single map. Also, there's no need to waste currency on the 7 Chaos Delirium map crafting option or something like that. And lastly, we are taking all of these increased effect of explicit modifiers on your maps. This can also be a way to save some points if your character is kind of struggling with this, because it makes the map harder, but also increases the quantity and certain things and the drop and all of that and the pack size. So that is helpful, but you can take a couple points out of this if you need some extra points, or if you're really struggling and do not want to take these nodes for that reason. Now, for the Scarab Atlas tree, if you want to use some of, namely the Delirium Scarabs, some of the Harvest Scarabs are kind of cool, but they're a little bit too expensive right now for me to recommend buying them, or buying them in bulk and running them. It seems to kind of just even out, so there's no point in really wasting time buying them if they barely give you an advantage for the strategy. It's better just to avoid them for now. But you could see the main difference is we do not take Unwavering Visions, which means Scarabs can drop, and we can also use Scarabs in the map device, and we do that at the cost of not taking more of the 2% connected nodes, which means our map sustain is going to be absolute garbage. You are going to want to probably buy maps at that point. But everything else is basically the same. Get all the harvest nodes, get all Delirium nodes, and yeah, that's so pretty self-explanatory. Now for this strategy, like I said, we're going to be running Strand and Fields maps. You can run this on any map. Some maps are better for Delirium than others by a long shot, but you can still make decent currency if you just have a bunch of random maps that you want to try this with. You want to run at least yellow maps. That seems to be where Delirium orbs really start dropping. I'm not sure if they can drop in white maps. I ran 3 before this video because I couldn't get a straight answer of when they start dropping. Didn't find any Delirium orbs, so if they can drop, they are much less common in white maps, but they do drop in yellow maps. The very first map I ran, it dropped 2, so it became very clear that they drop in yellow maps. I'm running red maps because obviously my build can handle it, but you know, do what you have to do for your build. For the Scarabs, if you're running Scarabs, the Delirium ones that I suggest are the Delirium Encounters, generate 2 additional reward types. This is awesome. It is also pretty cheap. The Delirium Scarab Delusions is also pretty cheap, and that gives layers of Delirium, which is also just more rewards. So these are really good to use if you're doing the Scarab strategy. If you are not, you can just ignore this. I currently am not. I cannot use Scarabs on my personal tree. You can see it might be a little different than the POE Planner one because I haven't really optimized it, but very similar, and I'm taking Unwavering Vision. Now, since Harvest goes off of the quantity and also the pack size helps with the Delirium and getting the Delirium meter to fill up, you're going to want to run these as rare as possible with as much quantity. So if you have a white map, remember to chisel it while it's at a white level, so it only takes 4 chisels to get to 20% instead of getting the 1% as rare or the 2% as magic, and then just hit it with an Orb of Alchemy. You can always scour and, you know, re-roll them if you get a mod that you cannot do. For example, the Leech really screws up this build, so I'm going to re-roll it once, and this works perfectly fine. When you run the maps, I'll give you an example. Most maps you want to get to at least 5 stacks of the Delirium reward that you'll see in the bottom left corner of my screen when I show you an example of running it. With Strand, you can hit 6 very easily, and then because of this node right here, once you kill the boss, it is going to bump it up to 7 stacks of the Delirium rewards. If you are running between Strand and Fields, get to about 5 stacks, then go in and kill the boss to get a total of 6 stacks. If you're running Strand, go to the 6 stacks, and then go in and kill the boss to get a total of 7 stacks. Now with Strand, you put the map in. We're going to just do increased quantity on the map device and run this. You know, mess with the lantern. Try and get something that you can do. Monsters don't grant flash charge, block attack damage. Yeah, all great. Now when you first go in, when you see the mirror, the first thing you want to do is after you touch it, you want to back up because it takes a couple seconds for the monsters to start to spawn. So do not kill anything until the Delirium monsters start to spawn in, or you will not get progress on your meter in the bottom left. Now this is an incredibly squishy glass cannon build. This is cast on Crea Ice Spear that I do every league, and this league the rippiness really stands true. I could edit and start over, but I'm just going to leave that in. But make sure the monsters spawn in, then go through and start killing things. Sometimes you have to backtrack a little bit just to make sure you get a little bit more of the Delirium monsters, but just keep going until you get to the Harvest. Once you get to the Harvest, it's going to look like this. It's going to be Sacred Grove. Keep in mind that the and thank God for Cast on Death Town Portal, or else this video would drive me nuts. Again, without a super high budget, and if you don't like dying, do not suggest this build, this league. But once you get to the Sacred Grove and you go in, it is going to pause the Delirium timer, which is very nice. Makes the Harvest a little bit more annoying, but it does pause the timer. Now with Harvest, again, you just want to look for the ones that have blue monsters. If they're all white, like these two, these paired off ones, and they are all paired off, you can see on my mini-map, 2 paired off, 2 paired off, 2 paired off right here, you are going to skip this. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to see that this has 1 blue monster, and this has 1 blue monster and a boss. The bosses drop a lot of Harvest. They're a little bit harder, but you want to prioritize those, obviously. Alright, so you kill the boss. He's going to drop a bunch of Vivid Crystallized Life Force, pick up the Life Force, and then just move to the next node, picking up and prioritizing any ones that have more blue monsters. This is all whites, and this has 1 blue, so you would do this one. Also, real quick while I'm on the topic, if you are running Delirium and you are running a squishy build, I highly suggest making space for the 2-link portal cast on death support. The reason for that is that as the Delirium moves forward, you have to keep moving away from the starting point of the map, so the Delirium does not expire. Again, it's paused in Harvest, so I don't have to rush as I'm explaining this. But when you die, it'll automatically cast on portal, so you can go back to where you were, because if you start at the beginning of the map, solid chance you're going to see the countdown timer that Delirium is going to expire, because you're all the way back at the beginning of the map. You aren't going to be able to run forward in the map to do this. But if you are a tankier build that does not die that often, you don't have to worry this much about that. You might just want to throw down a town portal using the nice new quality of life town portal hotkey, so that if you do die at some point, you can pick up where you left off and it doesn't screw you over. Strand is very linear. That's why this map is so amazing for Delirium. You cannot get lost, and you can get most of the monsters by just kind of zigzagging up and down the path until you get the boss at the end of it. Alright, so now I'm at the boss room. You can see, well, you probably can't see, I am at 6 rewards on the first one, so now I'm going to go in and do the boss and bump that up to 7. If you do not have Cast on Death Town Portal, I suggest making a Town Portal here. Go in, kill the 2 bosses of the Strand, and you will see that bumped it up to 7 on the Delirium rewards. Now at this point, you can kill the rest of the monsters, or you can just hit this fast forward button in the bottom right to just fast forward it and end the Delirium. You'll probably have to do that most of the time if you're moving at a pretty quick pace. And then you get your drops. Simulacrum, that actually wasn't that great. Small cluster with 3 added passives that give mana efficiency. You are going to drop a lot of cluster jewels. This is one to look out for. The small one with mana reservation efficiency. You can hit this with an alteration and just craft a little bit on it if you want, and make that easily, 50, 60 chaos. Now for the fields map, it's the same thing with the stacks, except it's much easier just to get 5 and kill the boss than to go through and try and get the 6 stats. You can, if you can kill relatively quickly and move through it pretty fast, but I usually just try and get 5 at least, and if I'm not even close to 6 by the time I'm close to the boss, I just run in and do the boss to get that 6 stack. Same thing, we're going to hit the mirror, then we're going to back up, wait for them to spawn, and then what you're going to do with this one, because the boss is always in the bottom left corner of the map, but the map kind of opens up and to the right, what you're going to want to do is swing around the top and kill a bunch of people up here. Clear out some of these, and then you're going to want to zigzag your way to the bottom left corner of the screen where the boss is. Make sure you look for the Sacred Grove. Go in there, find any blue. Those are nothing but whites. Skip those. There's one blue, so I would do the blue one. Come up here, there's a purple and a blue. Do the 2 purple right there. Get some extra Delirium from the monsters that spawn in here, and then go back out and complete the rest of the map. Now you can see I'm at 5 stacks, and I'm here at the boss. I'm going to go down. I have Cast on Death Town Portal. If not, you'd probably want to put a Town Portal on, just in case the boss kills you. And once you kill this boss, we're going to see a pretty good pop. This map has layers of Delirium on it, so even without Scarabs, you can see you can get quite a few rewards. This map had some pretty gnarly lantern mods on it, so I'm not surprised I died at least once. Alright, boss is dead. We got 6 stacks. We can turn the Delirium off and then get our loot. There's a Delirium Orb, Skittering Incubator, Simulacrum, Ornate Incubator. I'm going to take this Fragmented Orb of Fusing. A couple stacked decks. And you get the point. You're going to get some Scarabs out of this, even if you have the cannot drop Scarabs in a map. This overrides it. You will still get Scarabs from Delirium. You just will not get them from normal monster drops. Now with the Harvest Juice you get, you can sell them either when you get maybe 1,000 or a couple thousand. You will get a Life Force very quickly, or you can wait until you have a Divine saved up. You can check the prices by either using Awaken POE Trade or just going on the POE Regular Trade website. You can see if I'm using Awaken, it's about 8,600 for a Divine on the purple. It is about 6,700 for a Divine on the yellow. And it is about 7,000-ish for a Divine on the blue. So purple is worth the least. So if you got 2 plants, one of them had 2 purples, and the other one had 2 yellows, you're going to do the yellow ones, and then not care if the purple wilts on that pair of 2 crops, because obviously the yellow is worth the most right now. Now with the Delirium orbs, what you do with them, you have 2 options. There are ones that are worth a lot more than others, namely the most expensive one is the Scarab one. This is a jeweler's one. It is not worth that much. It's probably only worth a couple chaos. Yeah, it's only worth 2 chaos. You can see it takes about 33 of these to equal Divine Orb. What you can do is the blue life force and use the Horticrafting Station. If you don't have a Horticrafting Station in your base, click this down arrow in your base, click Decorations. Type in the search Horticrafting Station and drag and drop it into your base. To get one of these, you can actually use the blue essence. I don't have much to reroll a Delirium Orb. Now, I suggest you reroll them if you're going to do this into either a Diviner's one or a Scarab one. So you would just reroll this till you get one of the 2, a Delirium or a Diviner's or a Scarab one. I have not been doing this league, and I'm probably going to run out of blue juice. Yeah, see, I didn't even get one that time. But it's kind of, I think it's a little bit more profitable. I do not have the numbers, but unfortunately the Diviners, I believe, we can actually look, are worth, it takes about 11 to 12 of these for a Divine. Last league it was more like 7 or 8. And the only way that this kind of evens out is the Scarabs are about 1 Divine for about 4 right now. You could probably get away with selling 2 for 9. You want to get a little bit more bang for your buck, but you can re-roll them using the harvest juice you get from this strategy. Now the second thing you can do is you can put them in this tab, and then once you have a bunch saved up, you can sell them in bulk, or you can just sell them in stacks like this. These 4, these go for 4 for 8 chaos. I can say, I can make this public and say, I want 8 chaos for 4 of these. What the number of things you want always goes on the outside. So 8 chaos for 4 of the orbs, that's how you would price it. Now, if you want to save up a bunch of these orbs and sell them in bulk, the easiest is still, unfortunately, the TFT bulk selling tool. You can go to bulk.tft or tftrove.com. You can go up here and link your account. I am already logged in, and then it will have your stash tabs. You can click on the tab that the Delirium orbs are in. Mine is in stash tab 11. I can click over here, scroll down to Delirium orbs, and I can say I want 90% of the POE Ninja asking price to make it a little bit more competitive so that they sell a little bit faster. And I can select the tab, and it is going to price it. You can see it's worth a Divine right now. I don't have a whole lot of orbs saved up at this time, but you will save them up very, very quickly. Then what you would want to do is you'd want to go over to the bulk want to sell Delirium orbs section of the TFT Discord, and you're going to want to generate, and well, first put your in-game name, Safe on Talk, or whatever it is. You're going to want to generate an image. Go back over here to the TFT, copy and paste that in here. Then you're going to want to generate text. Go back here and put the text in here. Then you will hit enter, and hopefully someone will whisper you and want to buy your Delirium orbs. That's how you sell in bulk on TFT. And that is basically the strategy, guys. Very profitable, very, very simple. You do not have to use Scarabs if you want. It would probably be more profitable if you use the Delirium Scarabs since they are so cheap. But if you need some points saved or you don't want to deal with it, you can always do the way of, connecting the map nodes and just going really heavy into those. So you could try to map sustain for yourself, or you can go over to the want to buy map section of the TFT and try to buy them in bulk. Or if you're really masochistic, you can always just go on the trade website and try and buy them one at a time for about 5 chaos apiece. But the choice is up to you. So if this is a cool strategy, guys, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Helps my channel and my video a ton. We recently hit 1 million views on the channel the other day, which is a really big milestone. And I am very, very happy and excited to keep doing these videos. 1, because they're helping people, and 2, because I really just enjoy making them. So make sure you get followed over on twitch.tv/Safe on Talk, where I am streaming all the time. And make sure you join our Safe on Talk Discord. Links are in the description, where a bunch of us hang out, talk strategy, and share the cool stuff that we have found, or some cool builds that we are doing. So that's going to do it, guys. Go out and let me know in the comments how this works for you. Go find some cool stuff, and we will talk to you on the next one.